Okay, I just saw you playing out there and you look real good. Who are you?
Well, I'm Mrs. Gary, sir. I'm the best footballer point to see.
Oh, really? You you know any of the older players who play here in Point?
Well, I know Warren Akibal, Leroy Dillion.
Stop. You know me? Boy, I was the best striker, the best forward that this country ever seen.
Oh, Wilfred Kane.
Boy, I'm Steve David, boy. Welcome, viewers, to another edition of Fever Dreams. I'm Steve David, your host, and with me on the set today, I've got coaches, and we're going to discuss coaching in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me introduce my coaches. I've got captain of the national football team, coach of the national team, and now coach of UTT, Clayton Morris. Welcome, Clayton.
Thank you, Steve.
And to my right, I have another national player, coach of TN Tech, and now coaches St. Benedict's College. And that's Dexter Cyrus. Welcome, Dexter.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, guys, we need help. We need help because it looks like our football is going south. And I want to ask you guys, what do you think we need to do as coaches to improve our game that we see now in Trinidad and Tobago?
Steve, in everything you need finance, right? And, I've been sitting and I've been watching, since I've been a player, we always have this problem, lack of preparation, and when it comes down, it's because of lack of finance. We also see where, with respect to development, when you look at the world player of the year, in any year, those players are around 22, 21. When you look at the footballer of the year in Trinidad and Tobago, there's a player on his way out, so to speak.
Right.
So that shows that somewhere along the line we need to look carefully at when we start to develop our players, right? So I really believe we should start from the age of 5, and really try and get the people with the wherewithal. Most of the times we put somebody like in a school because he's a PE teacher and he has the time, and I think that is where we making a mistake for years now, because even now I'm at the university at Trinidad and Tobago, and there are some players there who doesn't have the basic technique to play football at the age 20, 25 years. So that again shows that we need to go back down to the bottom, and make sure that once they love the game of football, then in anything in life, you have the basic right, then it will take you through.
Right.
Wanting to reiterate, because looking at what we look at as development in Trinidad, it's a situation where the kids are getting into the academies and they're in the academy Saturday morning, and that's it. Or they might be in the academy maybe on a Wednesday and a Saturday morning. That's 2 days for the week. When, as in comparison to the South American kid or the European kid who is in the academy 4, 5 days for the week, sometimes
Right.
6 days. In Portugal, it was Monday to Saturday when I was playing there. And that in itself, 5 years down the road, we are already light years behind. The kid who starts at 5 and goes to academy 4 or 5 days for the week and a kid in Trinidad who starts at 5 and goes to academy on a Saturday morning, when he's 10, 11, and he goes into puberty, what happens now is that the kid in Europe is stronger, he's more tactically aware, he's light years ahead of us. And I think we need to tap into that, firstly. Also, there needs to be some structure in place that would tell a kid, I'm starting here and I want to end there. I'm starting here and I want to end there. A kid only has dreams of being on a national team, but we don't have anything to create a top-class teenager in Trinidad. There's no support structure to do that, none whatsoever. You know, I think the powers that be, I mean, the federation and all these people need to take a look at something that creates a support structure that could create a Russell Atherton in Trinidad. Don't just hope for him to just fall out of the woodwork or somebody do a good job or a naturally talented kid to just appear from somewhere. We have a lot of natural talent in Trinidad.
So it's almost like what Clayton says, we need the backing, the financial backing to make this work.
Well, obviously it needs financial backing, but I mean, we need it. We also need, when we have the money, to know what it is we want to do and to tap into it, especially those fine details.
Right.
Yeah.
So you both had real successful careers as players. What brought you into coaching? And I know you guys have the love for it, and the way things are going, I'm almost if I was a coach, I might want to run and get out of this game. What's keeping you in, and what brought you in, and what's keeping you in?
Well, it's easy for me because I love it, and I guess it will always be easy for me because I'm doing what I love.
Right.
But I driven. I was always been driven as a player, and I'm driven as a coach.
Right.
That being said, I always had that dream growing up also. I always had the dream of when I'm finished playing, I would like to coach. And I think I don't think I'd run from the game. I think I'll stay in the game until forever.
So you're in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens.
Definitely.
What about you, Clayton?
Steve, to be honest with you, after 1989, I said to myself, I would be going in looking for another career. I was coming out of football.
Right.
But as fate had it, I continued to play. And November the 23rd, 1990, I don't know if you all remember that, we had a three-way tournament with the same USA team from '89 and the Russian. Russia played America I think it was on the 18th. And we played them. We played Russia the next game on the 20th November. And about halfway in the first half of the game, well, these Russian guys, big, strong, nice game we got. And I went in to squeeze. A ball playback for the guy to shoot, and I went in to squeeze. And the guy struck the ball, and it hit me in my head. Right? Well, the rest is history. I continued to play, but like I seen 4 balls on the field.
Right.
But with my determination, I continued to play. But when I played through the half, and when we went to the dressing room, it so happened that Dr. Inal Singh was the team doctor. And he said, look, we'll have to take Clayton to the hospital. But in a nutshell, it so happened I went and I had emergency brain surgery. A lot of people don't know that. And I remember lying on the stretcher just to go into the operating room. And the entire team, Kerry Jameson, they rushed into the room until no operation. Right, they already gave me the anesthetic, and they said no, but I don't know, God, fate had it that I was still conscious to hear what was going on. And Kerry said no operation because the bus driver told them his son just had an operation and he died. Okay. So no operation for Skip. So I opened my eye and I remember seeing Kerry and I said, don't worry, everything will be all right. And there and then I made a commitment to the Lord that once He gave me life, I would continue to serve my fellow human being through football. So that is how I continue to be and coach football. And I see it not just because if you have coaches, why are you coaching? I don't see it just as going to win a game or winning a trophy. I see it as winning somebody's life, you know, giving them a better life, an
right.
opportunity to have a better life,
Right.
right? So it's a commitment I have with God, and I continue to spread with my fellow men.
Right. And I can understand that. You know, your passion for it based on the experiences that you had. So, but, you know, we have a professional league, and we have, you a coach at UTT, and your guys probably don't have anywhere to go right now. They don't play in the professional league, and they play in the South Zone, and the South Zone is less than adequate. So, and Dexter Hughes coaches at St. Benedict's.
And I also
And
coach Palaseco Sporting Club
So,
in the Super League.
what are we doing wrong in this country that we cannot get it right?
I think, Steve, you know, again, I must thank God for the opportunity I have. I work with Petrotrin for years in the corporate communication department, so I have the experience of what manager, planning events and what have you. And I think that is one of the area we lack with respect to the game in Trinidad and Tobago. Because most of the times, you know, the people you have spearheading how things is to be organized is always a lot of, you know, and simple as you just mentioned, going to the South Zone, you go in and the referees go on the wrong place and all this sort of thing, you know. So I think administratively is where we really, really lack, you know, and it trickles down to the player. And I mean, when, you know, every time people see the national team fail, they want to know, you know, why we can't get it right. I think administratively we need to really put our house in order.
Right. What's your take on that?
My take is
Excellent.
that tapping into the administrative part is very important, but that's when we reach to maybe competition level.
Mm-hmm.
Tapping into the kids. Now, you know, me doing a little research based on the schools and the area that we need to tap into football so that we could improve it. In the county of Victoria, there's 91 primary schools. Those 91 primary schools, we have maybe less than half of that participating in football competitively.
And that's only Victoria.
And that's just the county of Victoria, right? There's some, based on the fact that they might be in East Indian communities, they participate in cricket.
Right.
The kids in the primary school, just between that age of 6 to 11, they're not getting any coaching, and they're not getting proper coaching. And the pro league facilitates under 13. Now, under 13 competition might play a big 10-year-old boy or a big 11-year-old boy, but that's in the odd situation. What happens to the kids now who need to play between 5 to 10? Right, so they're not playing any competition. Then what we need to do, we need to develop them. But so a whole lot of kids just falling through the woodwork, and we have nothing in place for them, and we're just talking about the county of Victoria.
I'm sure you've seen those kids at that age that need real special attention. The ones need the most effort in development is under somebody, friend who doesn't know anything about coaching.
Who doesn't know how to develop the kid.
Giving them the bad
That's the point I made.
And giving them a lot of
and
bad
now
instructions.
you got to take them over.
And then we have to take them when they are 13, and now we try to tell kids that they're doing this right and they're doing this wrong, and it's not about that.
Right.
It's about how the kid works out the game in his head for him to best perform the act that you want to give him, or the skill that you want to give him, or the skill that he needs to perform at the time. And a lot of times the coach might have grown up a particular way, and he wants you to do it like this, and if you can do it like this, it means you're doing it wrong. And you're telling the kid something, and the kid now is confused because you ask him to control the ball, but he might put his hand a particular way and open his body a particular way to control the ball, but that's what you really want. You just want him to be able to control the ball based on his physical ability and how he works the game out in his head. And that confuses children. to the point which part some of them they fall out of love with the sport. They don't come back, all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Okay, just hold that for a second. We will take a break now. Viewers, we'll be right back after this show.
Worldwide Safety Consultants Limited offers solutions to your immediate and future potential problem areas by providing you with a qualified team of safety consultants. Worldwide Safety Consultants Limited, building a reputation on quality and value since 1999. Located 23 Todd Street, San Fernando, Trinidad. Phone 868-657-1534 or 868-788-6955. worldwidesafety@yahoo.com.
Okay, I just saw you playing out there and you look real good. Who are you?
Well, you know, I'm Miguel Kisa. I'm the best footballer point of the city.
Oh, really? You know any of the older players who play here?
Well, I know Warren Archibald, Leroy Delia.
Stop. You know me? Boy, I was the best striker, the best forward that this country ever seen.
Oh, Wilfred Kane.
Boy, I'm Steve David, boy. Okay, welcome back, viewers. You're watching Field of Dreams and Axe Television Network. Before the break, Dexter was discussing the challenges we have with the young coaches. But before we get back into that, I need to introduce one more person to the panel, and that's Terry Fenwick. He's an English international, coach of Central UFC, the champions of the professional league. Welcome, Terry.
Thank you very much for having me.
You want to tell the viewers a little bit about you, a little background?
Well, I've been here now 15 years,
Right.
Trinidad and Tobago. My background is over 35 years in English professional football at different levels. I've played for Crystal Palace, Queen's Park Rangers, Tottenham Hotspur, and also at every level of English internationals. So I've come from quite a good background there.
Right.
My 15 years here in Trinidad has really been about development of the game and development of young people.
I'm excited to have you here because I've got some questions for you. But I'll just finish
Absolutely.
this we'll be doing, and then we will get into some
I'm ready
of these
for you.
questions. So we were talking about. You wanted to pick up on what Dexter was talking about?
With respect to the technique, you know, come back to the point where I made earlier with, you know, the teaching the kids the right techniques from the early age. Right, as Dexter say, you know, they'll come and they may have a different way of doing it. But if we instill it into them from day one, then we won't have to undo, because most of the times, as I said, when you get them at the teens, then you're trying to get the correct things in, well, you know, and they having problems because in order for them to get to do the correct thing, they have to get the bad habits also. This is why he made the point of they get frustrated and sometimes they leave the sport, right? So again, it come back, it's very important at the early age that they get the right and the correct basic techniques, because anything in life, once you have the basic, then you could add, as we say, add the flair and the gallery to it or what have you.
Terry, we were discussing, and we want to know how we bridge that gap, because we're saying that when the kids do come to us as coaches, they're at such an advanced age, they've already learned all the bad habits by some parent or some other person, some school teacher who doesn't have the knowledge to pass on to give them at that tender age. So how do we bridge that gap, and how do we do that?
It's a very tough call because, as Dexter mentioned earlier on, we really ought to be giving these youngsters from 5 and 6 good habits, something that they can continue and bolt on extras as they progress and develop as young players, young people. But what we've got here in Trinidad and Tobago is we've got a number of contradictions. We've got no development at all at youth level for these youngsters. And we're very comfortable with small goals football, which gives you a lot of good habits, but also a lot of bad habits. And trying to get, as coaches, trying to get youngsters to understand, to develop yourself in the game to a level in which you're then representing school teams, then district, regional, then national, then looking for contracts beyond Trinidad and Tobago. It means that you've got to be prepared for football on the outside. And I see so much talent here in Trinidad and Tobago, but lots of talent that won't go outside because of the habits, unfortunately, that they've got from an early age that should have been taken away.
Right. So, and you're absolutely right, but our system then there's a problem with our system.
Absolutely. I think
and we need to put something in place.
Well, when you look at where we are, we're the biggest football nation within our region. We've been the focus point within CONCACAF because of the officials that we've had in places. But where the rest of the, and I think Dexter touched on this earlier on, where the rest of the region and even Central America, they've had 5, 6, 7 years of development. We've not had that. And there are some very good people on the ground, very competent people, coaches, that could deliver this sort of program right here. And for whatever reasons they're overlooked. People from the outside are brought in. They take 2 years to find out who the top players and coaches are within the country, and then before you know it, they're gone. So there's never been any continuity across the board, so we can have long, sustainable development of young people.
I'm glad you said that because I'm a resident in the U.S., but I'm also local. So I am kind of back and forth. And you've been here for so long. And I've seen them brought in coaches from outside. And you've done excellent job winning the leagues here and doing great with the coaching, but I've never seen them offer you a job as a national coach. And I always wonder why. It's like getting a local foreigner. That's how I put it, because you've been here for so long. What do you think about it?
Well, I think my record, I think, is very good here. As well as the trophies that we've won with Jablets here and Central FC, I've got 78 kids on professional contracts outside of Trinidad over that 15-year period, which is a lot more than most. And I've really resigned myself to the fact that that's what my job will be. I love my football. We're football people. That's what we do. Having been a reasonable player, I love to coach. I love the involvement with young men, women around us. And I think it's a case of wanting to put something back. Yes, we need to live. We've got to earn a few dollars along the way. But I think it's the passion within us to continue. The national thing, if it comes along, great. If not, I'm not holding my breath.
And for the rest of you guys, don't you think there is something wrong with how we select our national coaches? Or you have to be in a certain group? Or maybe I am wrong from looking from the outside in? I know, I mean,
I don't even
it
know
looks that way to me.
I don't even know how you select a national coach.
You could.
I don't have a clue. I don't know what's the criteria. I don't know. I don't know how you do.
So again, part of our system is not working the way it's supposed to be working. Because I've seen we bypass a lot of great players or great coaches, and we have some people that we're using over and over. It's not bringing the result for us. So they need to be a change. Yeah.
I think I don't know if if I want to blow my own trumpet here. When in 1989, when Gali said, he would like all the national teams to play one system, I think that is another thing that confused the players, because you have a coach today. Let's say you have Terry working with the team, and then Terry, for some reason, they drop him, somebody else come in, the players have to adapt, and it goes on and on, and going down.
System all the time.
Keep changing the system. Even at the youth level, you have a coach who doing his own thing, and when the player move up to another level on the national team, so it is really confusing,
So our technical director should structure 8 guys. This is what we're going to play.
This is what we're playing.
4, and for all the teams, this is what we're going to use. Is that how you do it in
At least
England,
basic.
I think it's it's a difficult one for me. I think principal as a player, absolutely, that should be from 5 and 6 year olds starting to build it up. So by the time they become teenagers, they've got a broad understanding of how we want to play. And then coming into 15, 16 now, they've got to be top players. Because you look at some of the world's top players today, Messi and Ronaldo seem to have been around forever, but they were stars at 18, 19.
They were teenage superstars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is football's over 90 minutes, which is a long time. I think it's a long time to maintain one particular system. And things during the game change. Somebody scores against you, you score against them, you might want to defend rather than attack more. I think we've got to be flexible enough now to change within 90 minutes, but change into a system that the players are already comfortable with, that they've worked on in the training ground. So it's not like you start with one system, and if it's going wrong and not working, we all get in a mess. We've got to have a fallback position, which...
No, Perry, when I say system, I mean the style.
Yeah.
Not so much the system, because you say system could change according to the time of the game. But what I'm talking about, the style.
Yeah.
You know, we should have something that we brand that is ours. And that's the point I'm making.
Well, I mean, as I would see it, all of the top players that Trinidad and Tobago have produced, other than Galley really, I would suspect, have gone into the UK. Now, for me, coaching young guys here, I know all about the UK football. It's changing up all the time. Football evolves, but you've got the same intensity, you've got the same passion and seriousness about the sport. I think that is lacking here. We've got a number of coaches that might look South American and Brazilian, which is a totally different type of football, but it's playing this, in my opinion, it's playing the type of football that the kids will benefit from. And if they're going to the UK, maybe North America, we maybe should fashion our coaching towards that.
Right. What do you think? I mean, it makes sense. I mean,
yeah, but I think the thing that makes the most sense is the flexibility. I think based on as coaches, I mean, in competition, you would want to get a result, and you might need to change. You might need to do something at that point in time in that game to get a result, and whatever you need to do to get the result, you need to do. And the flexibility is obviously.
So we need to know all the system, the 4-2-4, the 5-3-4-1, whatever. We need to know them so we can switch on the fly.
Correct.
Is what you're saying.
Because if I could add here, Steve, you know, sometimes people, you know, they would say, why? Well, the international window is 5 days before players could be released to play with the club, what have you. And they would say, but why these players from Brazil going back and fitting into the team and everything? You know, I just use Brazil, they're working. Because they're leaving, when they leave, before they go to whatever contract, they're leaving out of something that they know from a kid coming up. Yeah. But in Trinidad, it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's not like that. So this is why we have the problem where we face with the players that come back and you find we can't get the chemistry going.
Comes back to the same point we started to make. The so-called coaches in the communities is playing or trying to play systems that they don't know anything about, and confusing the poor kid. And by the time he comes up to us, his head is all confused, and we have to unscramble his brain before we can start putting something good into it.
Tapping into the community coach, where the association runs programs to advance the level of the coach, and then the coach now will be able to advance the level of the player. That is something that the coach doesn't have control over.
Right.
The coach doesn't have control over getting himself into a proper program so that he could learn and then come and teach the player. Right. A lot of the coaches, they don't know. And if you don't know, you don't know. You can't teach somebody something that you don't know.
So locally,
yeah, we need some sort of structure in place to improve the coaching.
Right, and we don't have that, right?
We don't have that.
We don't have a program
on a broader scale. On a broader scale.
Because I could be wrong, but I remember doing some coaching camps in America some years go by. You cannot go and coach unless you have a D license or something. Sure. You know, but in Trinidad, everybody is a coach here.
Yeah.
And not just that, I think where we go wrong a lot here in Trinidad is we've got to start recognising what we want to achieve and then work backwards as to how we actually get there and achieve it. So there's a bit of planning, a bit of structure. We haven't got any of that. We almost stumble forward, and if it's not working, well, let's change them guys and bring new people to the front. There's got to be a proper 5-7 year program put in place where we can all work to, so we can help each other for the benefit of the kids. Because at the moment, the very top have got it all wrong. That filters down to the coaches. We do our own thing, and the ones that really suffer are the kids.
The players.
That being said, Costa Rica CONCACAF team beat Italy. 15 of that 22 in Costa Rican team, 15 of those players is the represented Costa Rica against Switzerland in the under-17 final 8 years earlier.
Yes, absolutely.
8 years before. So 8 years down the road, I have 15 of the same players playing for Costa Rica at senior level. Costa Rica get it right. They got it right.
Honduras have been the same.
Yeah, Costa Rica got it right.
Panama.
So they went on the world stage and performed. And now they went on the world stage and performed at the average age of 27.
Yeah.
27. So they had to get it right. You can't get it right now for next year. They got it right
Over a period
8 years, 7 years before.
So we need to get a little more aggressive at a younger age with our younger kids.
Definitely.
Get a little more aggressive so we can get that kind of structure and get that kind of thing.
Definitely.
You know? Is that what we're saying, right?
Definitely.
But it also has to happen with the coaches too.
Yeah. But
And also with the selection, and also with the programs, and also with everything, the whole administration. We need to do something about it.
well, the administration part, I mean, nothing trickles up here.
Correct.
Administration had to get right, so it come down to us.
Right.
Nothing trickles up.
And not just that, what we as professional coaches, what we're fighting against all the time is the college league. Now the college league's probably the best supported league in the country.
Right.
So you want that to continue. But when you've got kids that are still playing college league football 19, 20 because of the school sweethearts and all that sort of stuff,
The glamour.
they've missed 5 years development.
Yeah.
And trying to tell a parent, listen, I think your son's good enough to get out of Trinidad into something better, but he's got to start being serious now at 15, 14, 15, 16. They're still tied up in college league football.
Right.
That's got to be pulled together through the TTF here and all the rest of the associations of football to make it right.
So how do we make that right? What do you think we need to do to make that adjustment?
The people at the top have got to be open enough to recognise where football is in Trinidad. They've got to be realistic, which I don't think we've been for a long while now. We've got to sit down with the member associations, including the schools, to see what the best way forward is for the benefit of the children and the players, rather than the associations and the school. Something's got to be there that's a moderate, that helps everyone.
So, and our pool of players is supposed to be from the colleges, yes? The
Pool of
pool
what
of
age?
players
Pool
to
of what
advance.
age?
Huh?
Pool of what age? What age group?
Well, all right, let's say the Pro League.
They just had an under-17 tournament and we came last. When you put the two groups together, we were the last team.
Okay, where do our professional league find players, local players, from what pool? Where do we go to get those players? Because we should be looking at country you, Terry, because back in England, it's 15, 16 is the age that you start recognizing this is a special player.
Yeah.
So that's in the colleges. That's where we should be
England
looking.
has a support structure in place to create a top class 15, 16-year-old.
We used to.
We don't have that.
We used to.
We used to be long ago.
Yeah.
But we don't have that anymore.
Warren Archibald, Leroy Dillian, Jan Seven, they all turned
but
pro right
talk-
out of college.
Yes, but we're talking about those are the exceptional individuals. We don't have a support structure in place to create top class teenagers in every position on the field. We might have the exceptional one or two. No. We can't create a top class team of teenagers. We can't do that. We don't have that.
Well, hear what? We have more clubs now, or more schools now in the colleges league, right?
The top schools are all playing against each other.
But back in the day, it used to be 6, 3 in the south and 3 in the north. And they used to have a colleges league team that played in the league football. The structure was different. But now we have so many colleges. I think we should be stronger in that effort, going forward to get players.
But that just started
to
last
support.
year.
Huh?
That just started last year.
Okay.
As 1 year, I mean, 1 season. And then the college league season is 3 months.
Because our system is different. And I don't know if you know, Terry, how that was, but back in the day, when I was in college, they had something called a colleges league team. Used to play against Southern Football League team, against a Port of Spain League team. The football is so structured. Every area in the country had different leagues.
Yes.
And then they had a league competition. And within that league competition, then that's divided into North and South. And they would have a North-South Classic.
Yes.
And that's how we get our national team.
I don't see anything wrong with that. You see, what you're getting at there, I think, is you've got then regional development.
Right.
You then bring it north and south, which really, at that stage, you're talking about elite football, which we haven't got.
Right.
Now, with coaches and clubs, whether it be amateur or professional teams, there are so many tremendous kids out there, but we've got to get to a stage where they're identified, and then the elite kids, the ones that we think are the top kids in the country, come together, whether it be fortnightly, monthly, so there's an association, they get to know each other, they start playing together, so our national sides benefit as it rolls on. We haven't got any of that. We haven't got any of them structures in place that allow us to identify this youngster's a great player in left back position, centre back. We haven't got that alleyway, that direction. That's all at the moment.
And how do we establish communication between our coaches? I mean, even with that, we need communication between our coaches.
I know once they are trying to have a coaches association, but that fell through.
Right.
And I think that is one of the things could really answer some of the questions we're trying to figure out here.
Yeah.
Because I could call you and say, hey, you know, I have a couple kids, you know, and vice versa, and we could talk about it.
Well, you know, coaches meet each other on game day. Maybe when you go to do a course or something, but to something, if you need to put something in place, if you want coaches to be able to collaborate, because we don't have that. I no longer I see Mr. Fennick. I see Mr. Fennick if I go to watch Central play when they played Civic Center, and that's just me in the stand seeing him. You know, to collaborate, that's something totally different. That's something you need to put in place and coordinate.
So our system is failing, is all we're saying, and we need to do something about it.
There isn't a system, Steve. There is
no system.
It's not a system.
It's not a system.
My God, I'm reading in the papers over the last 2 or 3 days that we've got FIFA have just given TTFA another $1 million. So there are funds trickling through our association.
Yeah.
Now from that's significant money to go out there and start putting structures in place. And if them structures were put in place, it then gives us coaches a chance to sit down, discuss the way forward, and collectively come to an agreement as to what principles of player we think youngsters should be growing up with. So we then have them development programs that are making the rest of the region successful and leaving us behind.
Okay, we take a break at this point. When we come back, we will discuss all our national teams that need coaches, and I would ask my panel here, which one of those teams would you rather coach? And we'll be right back after this break.
Worldwide Safety Consultants Limited offers solutions to your immediate and future potential problem areas by providing you with a qualified team of safety consultants. Worldwide Safety Consultants Limited, building a reputation on quality and value since 1999. Located 23 Todd Street, San Fernando, Trinidad. Phone 868-657-1534 or 868-788-6955. Worldwide safety at yahoo.com.
Okay, I just saw you playing out there and you look real good. Who are you?
Well, you know, I'm Miguel Kisa. I'm the best footballer point of the city.
Oh, really? You know any of the older players who play here in Point?
Well, I know Warren Akibal, Leroy Dillion.
Stop. You know me? Boy, I was the best striker, the best forward that this country ever seen.
Oh, Wilfred Kane.
Boy, I'm Steve David, boy. Welcome back, viewers, to Field of Dreams on Axe Television Network. Before the break, we were discussing all our ups and downs that we were having in the coaching field. And I also addressed that when we come back, we would talk about all our national teams that we have that require coaches. And I want my panel to tell me which one of those teams they would rather coach. To any of you guys. We got under 15, under 17, under 19, under 21, national team. If you had the opportunity to coach one of those teams, which one would you want and why?
Is there any takers?
Everybody's silent. What happened, Terry? You want to start?
Well, I would want to coach the national side, the senior national team, and I would want, with that, some overview of the under 17, which I think that's the next link down. Experience here in Trinidad and outside, players that I've brought through that are currently playing in the national setup, which is significant. Having said that, I think Stephen Hart, under difficult conditions, has done an excellent job. Excellent job. But I do believe that whatever level you take, you need to have good links with the next level up and down. So there is clear lines of improvement and progression for kids that are better than that age group. So you can have that sort of flow throughout your whole system.
The youngest team.
The youngest would be what? The under 15?
If it's under 15.
And why?
Because I'm a person, I'm very technical. So I would really like to work with respect to making sure that I have the proper technique. Because, you know, when you look at the game, once you use the proper technique, you know, they look at Messi and they look at why they have so much room on the field. It's because of the technique, you know, A1. And I would really like to work on the kids, you know, make sure the technique is on spot on, and that way then we could see better performance all around.
You're talking about development, yeah? Develop the skills.
Yeah,
and
develop
so that's
the
what
skill, yeah.
that what makes you take.
That makes me, you know, really, really happy.
Dexter.
Steve, under 23, under 21, under 23, just because of the fact that Trinidad and Tobago is a pool of late developing footballers. As we said, we can't create a top-class teenager, but 5-6 years down the road, if the kid stays in the right atmosphere, he does the right things, he has the right habits, I think that we could create a top-class player in the mid-20s. That being said, at under 21, under 23 level, I think for Trinidad footballers, I think that's a very important stage just before they go into the national team, the senior team that is. Our boys around that age, they don't have a competition to play in. There is no under 21 or under 23 competition. A lot of them are playing in the zones, or they might be playing Super League. A lot of them might be playing Pro League, but there are a lot of them who they fall away. they fall away. And we need a league for that age, and to always have a under 21 or under 23 team at national level in existence, because that age needs to be tweaked a lot. It still needs to be developed for them to make that final step to the national senior team.
Right, okay, I got you. Okay, let me bring it back down to coaching. We have colleges league, and we have many coaches, and some probably school teachers. I don't know. I'm just guessing. We have professional league, many coaches, and some of them probably doesn't have or they should have at least a D license, right? And do you guys think that we have the right coaches in the colleges league, and do you think we have the right coaches in the professional league? I might be going a little bit out there, but what do you think? We have enough coaches to go around to fill the colleges league, the professional league, and all the zones? And when I say the right coaches, I mean we have enough coaches to do that.
Before you go there, Steve, I had asked the CEO of the Pro League, Dexter Skeen, what are the criteria to coach in the Pro League? Right, because I saw a coach who I know was a trainer and who I know personally, and then I see he was given the mantle to coach a team in the Pro League. So I asked the question, and Dexter just watched me and he smiled, said, well, that is up to the manager, the owner of the club. Which I think that shows that, you really don't care how our football really go forward.
You think there should be a minimum requirement?
Should be some requirement. That's the highest league in our country. Mm-hmm. And you can't tell me you could just walk up the street because you are wrong and you're coaching in the Pro League.
Terry?
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think there should be some sort of regulations put in place to make sure we have the best coaches coming to the top. However, I think in the past, certainly what I've recognised is coaching schools that come around for coaches when they bring people down from Holland or England, wherever. It's a selected few that gets the opportunity to attend them courses. And sometimes that wouldn't be the people I would think are the better coaches in the country.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So in England, is there a requirement, a minimum requirement?
Absolutely, yeah, right across the board. If you're coaching youngsters right up to Premiership clubs, there are conditions and qualifications need to be put in place to get there. Again, and you mentioned it earlier on yourself, we've got coaches that fail at one international level, 15s, get recycled, and all of a sudden they're under 20 coaches.
Right.
How does that happen?
Right.
At the end of the day, football is a success-driven game, and it's one of the biggest growth industries in the world today. We're talking CONCACAF, North America. They're seeing football, or soccer as they say it, booming over the next 10 years, and money's been injected into it, which apparently will be colossal. We're a part of that. As part of CONCACAF, we're competing with North America. A lot of our kids will get an opportunity to go on scholarships in the United States, maybe MLS or USL teams. And our kids are coming through systems. I'm saying systems. They're coming through coaches that some are not qualified, even at the highest level, as Clayton says. PFL coaches must have some sort of qualification behind them,
And Terry made that point, not only just the coaching, Steve, some of these coaches or these people in charge of the team, they also have an influence on the kid's mind, because sometimes you see their ability and you invite them and say, right, and they will say, you know how to talk to my coach, and the coach doesn't want to release that player so that he could move on because the link that he has between them. So all of this really confuse the kids.
Mm-hmm. Is there enough coaches in the colleges league to man the amount of teams in the colleges league? Good coaches.
I don't think the problem is leagues. I don't think that's the problem.
No.
No, I don't think that.
What's the problem?
I think the problem is developmental coaches. I think the problem is from the coaches that have access to these kids when they're at the age of 4 and 5 until they reach their teenage years. I think that's where the problem is. I think that we need to seriously take a look at that. We have good coaches in the colleges league. I mean, Angus came from the pro league, and Angus was Terry's understudy for quite some time, and you know, he came with the experience and he won.
But he's one guy. We're talking about, is there enough?
Yeah, I think there's enough when it comes to competition. I think development-wise, I think we have a serious problem. Major problem. The coaches that have the first access to these kids to teach them the basics.
Yeah.
I think that's where the problem is.
And
Well,
you see, Steve, not just the physical game, it's a holistic
Yeah, it's a
development.
holistic.
You're dealing with the attitude.
Yeah,
because
everything.
the coaches we're talking about, those coaches, this player mightn't come and train big, but because he's my star player and he's going, he get into play. And this whole thing messing up the kid's mind.
But the reason I asked that question is, like Terry was saying, I mean, it's a developmental thing, right? But we just throw people in there, and we were just saying the coaches who should be in these clinics or coaching courses that they bring, the advanced courses, don't ever get a chance because there's a certain group of people who keeps recycling. So maybe we need to work more on like a coaches academy or clinic or whatever, so we can start developing coaches as we develop referees
Most
and
definitely.
linesmen
Most
and
definitely.
players and everything else.
Most definitely.
No?
You see, when you look at the English FA, now
Yeah.
England's obviously much bigger than Trinidad and Tobago. We've got coaches everywhere.
Right.
The English FA's website, as a member of that, as a coach, certified coach, you can tap into that website, punch in your access number, and then you see what the rest of the country, Premiership right down to all the divisions, and recognising there is 3,500 leagues, not teams, leagues, in England and Wales alone. So you're talking huge numbers here. But it gives you, tapping into this website, it gives you access to what the top coaches are doing with the different age groups. Now, you might not want to use their ethos, what they believe in, their thoughts on the game, but it's definitely something that you can pluck out. And then collectively as coaches around the country at different age groups, you could be doing similar exercises that enhances the players to the next level.
Right.
Now, little Trinidad and Tobago, we could certainly do something like that. So it pulls, even if we're not meeting each other on a regular basis, we're pooling information, and these are the sort of exercises we should be doing with this age group now, so they can comfortably progress to the next level. Something like that put in place would be simple.
And that's true. And that would be excellent. Excellent idea. We're getting closer to the end of the show, guys. So I want you guys to think about, what do you need as a coach to make it work? Or what do you need administrators to put in place? So it's anything. What do you need to make it work for you as a coach?
Steve, as I started, I will make that point again. You need 110% support from the administration, and that means finance, everything. You know, I brought that out from a symposium the American, they had about maybe 8 years ago. The American coach, the Costa Rica and the Mexican coach, they came here, the symposium was as the Center of Excellence, and they were letting the rest of CONCACAF know what they have been doing to become qualifying for the World Cup. Every time the World Cup come around, those are the 3 teams that you see qualify for the World Cup from CONCACAF. And they were letting us know what they as coaches, what they have been doing. And one of the other things they said, in order for your senior team to qualify for a World Cup, you must have your junior teams qualifying. right? Whereas we focus on getting the national senior team, we spend everything on the senior team, and then we're struggling with the thing. So it come back again. You must have that support financially and totally from the administration.
Right.
I think it totally comes down to the man at the top. He's got to recognise what football's all about. He's got to have a good understanding of the game and what he's got at the coaches and that he's got around him. Him and him alone has got to make sure we've got the finances to run all the different levels. He's got to put in place the selection committees that put coaches in position so we get the right man. Instead of something whereby, and I think this is where we are right now, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and they get jobs and positions that suit certain individuals, but don't do the game any good. So I would absolutely level it off at the one man, the top man, the chairman, the president of the TTFA. It all comes under his regime, and he's got to get his act together and get it right.
Right. Dexter?
Yeah, well, I think tapping back into that, what Terry is saying, the man at the top he definitely needs to put a support structure in place. And the support structure has to be aggressively dealt with from development age. I think we just hoping that kids would just develop and become quality players. There's nothing that Trinidad and Tobago Football Association has in place to create another Russell Latapi, and that is leaving us behind teams that I didn't even know we played Curacao 2 days ago. Curacao they beat us after 68 years. Guyana beat us after over 50 years, or never beat us before, the first time ever. You know, our girls had to go to a World Cup, and I mean, if you all didn't see what the girls went through, I saw what the girls went through, because I'm coaching Palo Seco Sporting Club, and they're training on our ground, and they come into the training session, 10 of them in a wing road, and have to leave, and who had to take a drop behind a van, and that's what's going on. No structure in place, and I think until we get that right, football ain't going nowhere.
Okay, well, Trinidad and Tobago Football Association, I am making the plea for you guys to include these guys into your program, not have a group of guys that you keep recycling that's not getting it done for us. You guys need to add some new blood, new ideas to get it in your system so we can make our country get a little better. Okay, at this point, we have come to the end of another edition of Field of Dreams on Axe Television Network. I want to thank Axe Television Network for giving us the opportunity to bring this show to our viewers. I want to thank our viewers for letting us into your homes. We hope you enjoy the show, and we hope you continue to look at it. It's on Monday nights, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Monday night. I want to thank my panel for a wonderful and great experience. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for giving us the knowledge and passing it on to other young coaches out there who can do something with it. Don't forget, you can contact us on our Facebook page. We also have an email, that's fieldofdreamstt@gmail.com. You can also contact us on that. Again, thank you so much for watching, viewers, and at this point, I've got to say good night. See you next week.